You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodriguez for Black and White Sports 2. If you're new to the channel, pop the subscribe, like, comment. I know many of you are going to have something to say about Jon Gruden. As we know, the story came out, did a video over on the big channel last week about the fact that Jon Gruden was, yes, back involved with an NFL team, made his return to the New Orleans Saints. Now, the New Orleans Saints still run a version of the West Coast Sean Payton offense, which happens to be very similar to Jon Gruden's West Coast offense. There was a time when I believe that Payton and Gruden were on the same staff, I believe with the Philadelphia Eagles back in the day. I may be wrong there, but I think, I'm pretty sure it was not the Packers, even though there was a shit ton of great coaches on that those 90s Packers teams. So anyway, he showed up. Why? To work with the offense and more specifically installing offensive packages with Derek Carr. Now, Derek Carr loves Jon Gruden. He's a massive Jon Gruden fan. They lived right next to each other in Las Vegas before Jon Gruden got canceled. Let's just keep it real. Something that we don't agree with. It was from leaked emails involving that really messy Dan Snyder situation. It was from things involved when Jon was still working with ESPN on Monday Night Football. So, and it was pretty clear somebody targeted Jon. I mean, there was a email leaked, and then when they realized Mark Davis was not going to fire Jon over it, they leaked another one involving the Alphabet community, and we know that's the one that tends to get you completely canceled. He got fired reluctantly by Mark Davis. Mark Davis was visibly pissed off at the owners' meetings. We remember that video. Because him and the owners just weren't even together. And he said, they asked him about the situation. Mark Davis said, you go ask them. Don't ask me, ask them. And so anyway, right, wrong, or indifferent, Jon Gruden, and I believe right, was back with the Saints and installing the offense. And now Dennis Allen, the coach, has came out. He's made comments. This is going to upset a lot of people because they want people to be mad about the fact that Jon Gruden's back involved with the NFL. They want players to be outraged, and guess what? The players weren't. Should keep in mind some players that have come out and defended Jon over time. Warren Sapp, of course, played in Tampa together, down in with the Oakland Raiders as well, and let us not forget Randall Cunningham, who knows Jon very well, came out and defended Jon as well. Should be noted, both those guys are, in fact, black. Media doesn't want you to know those kind of things now, do they? So, let's get to this. Dennis Allen has come out, made some comments in regards to Jon Gruden, how it went, and the fact is it went very well. Now, we're going to talk about something after we get through the article that I heard, and damn it, I can't remember the podcast I heard it on, but it was brought up, and I went, oh, that's really interesting. This is PFT. Last week, Saints head coach Dennis Allen brought in former Raiders coach Jon Gruden to help work with the offensive coaches to build a system that best fits new quarterback Derek Carr. Of course, Carr had Gruden as his offensive play caller from 2018 to 2021. The partnership ended when Gruden abruptly resigned after racist, homophobic, and misogynistic emails he'd sent years before were made public. By the way, it says abruptly resigned. No, he was fired. He was forced into having to resign. That's a firing. When you're forced to resign, that's a firing. Because it's either you resign or you're fired. I mean, you know. On Tuesday, Allen was asked, by the way, Gruden is suing the NFL, I believe, for $50 million over this entire situation. Allen was asked why he brought in Gruden last week to watch practice and discuss the offense. Quote, look, I mean, number one, we've had several coaches come in and visit. Obviously, John's a guy that has a lot of experience with Derek, and Derek has had his most success under Jon Gruden. Allen said via Catherine Terrell of ESPN. And so we felt like bringing him in, having a chance to sit down and visit with him as an offensive staff. With the quarterbacks just getting some new thoughts and ideas we might be able to implement. I would say this, offensively for a long time that I've been here, we're pretty effective. So I don't see us putting in a whole new offense or doing something dramatic. But if there are a few ideas we could take from that, we felt like it would be beneficial. The Saints have Pete Carmichael as their offensive coordinator, a title he's held since 2009, but when Sean Payton was the New Orleans head coach, he was the offensive play caller. Allen also did not seem concerned about the potential backlash for Gruden coming in the building. Quote, no, look, you ask everybody that was involved, they thought it was really beneficial for our football team. And look, we're going to look at any avenue we can to try to improve, Allen said. So that was one area we thought, just bringing him in, having the opportunity to sit down and visit with him, we thought it would help us. The Saints finished 19th in total yards and 22nd in points. Look, I expect the Saints to improve a lot on offense. And if they can improve just, let's say they move to 14th in yards and 17th in points or 16th in points, the Saints could pretty easily win that division. It's not going to be a strong division. Derek Carr is obviously, depending on what Bryce Young does, he's obviously the best quarterback in the division right now, and the Saints have a good defense. And that looks like it's going to hold strong. Now, interesting point, because a lot of people don't realize Jon Gruden and LSU, before hiring Brian Kelly, flirted heavily. And why? There was a major push by the fan base to get Jon Gruden as the LSU head coach. Now, I still tend to believe that's how Jon Gruden makes his comeback, is through the college ranks, okay? Taking a Power 5 program and having success and then sort of working up from there. I personally speaking, Jon Gruden's going to walk in. I've seen people say, well, he's going to be terrible in recruiting. Really? He's going to saunter into a living room as a former Monday Night Football analyst and a Super Bowl winning head coach, and you think parents aren't going to love Jon Gruden? Of course they are. He's just got that kind of personality, larger than life, bigger than life, and it won't matter, I assure you, what race, because they know Jon Gruden can develop their kid into a potential future NFL player, and that's what a lot of them's going to be thinking about. That's what their concerns are going to be about. But I wish I could remember what podcast I heard this on, but somebody brought up something very interesting there. What if the Saints have a slightly down year, things don't work out as well as they thought? Would there be a natural fit of Jon Gruden becoming the Saints head football coach? Because obviously, look, if they wanted him and that was a big deal in LSU, the fan base had a fever and a fire for Jon Gruden, then you could think he's a massive name. He brings cachet. That's an interesting watch to see how that might turn out. Dennis Allen slips. You've had Jon Gruden in there with a quarterback that you just signed to a long-term contract. Just putting that out there. Damn, I wish I could remember what podcast I heard that on that just happened to throw that out. And I was like, oh, that does make some sense. Jon Gruden's on the comeback trail, folks. A lot of you people will not like that. Gonna be too bad, so sad, sign dad on that. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.